Hey everybody, it's John. There seems to be a little bit of concern about the exam, and there shouldn't be. People are looking at it as a traditional exam whereby they memorize words and then they pass. It is a multiple choice exam. The question set will actually be, majority of them, to make you think about what's going on. So there's 60 questions. 2 of them you should absolutely get right, but that depends on what type of student you are. There are a bunch of different definitions. There is in fact roughly 9 definitions. What I will now say at this point is that quite a few of the questions are actually multiple. So it might be a definition, but it might also bleed into how we nurse a person. So there's 9 for definition. There's 9 on how we age. Normal aging, in other words. There's 8 specific questions on Canada. They're not statistical questions. You should be able to read the question and in the vast majority of cases understand what the answer would be. There is about 4 on aging, general aging issues, and a little bit on disease. There is a little bit on finance, there's a little bit on death and grief, there's a little bit on leisure, and about 3 or 4 on culture, and about 2 on family and family dynamics. There's about 4 on policy. Again, you don't necessarily need to know the policy, but you'd have to understand the concept of the course in terms of what we feel healthy aging is for older adults in Canada and what the nurse's role is in that. There's actually 5 on gerontology theory. As I said on that section, I'm not going to get too specific on that, and you should be able to figure out the answers. But at the same time, it would help to have a good grounding of the basic gerontological theories before you actually want to nurse people. There's only about 4 specific on how we nurse them, and again, you should be able to figure them out. And there are 2 on stereotypes. I basically mostly used the textbook chapters where those issues arise. I used all of the, or most of the, I believe all of the PowerPoints that the students did, because I wanted to honour your work. And the concept of having a checklist of chapters and page numbers to memorise, to then sit and do a multiple choice test, is a comfortable one. It's certainly not what will happen in the NCLEX, and it isn't what's going to happen in this exam. I'm not going to reveal to the memorising students that the following 40 pages need to be memorised and the rest of it can be ignored. I don't want that. I don't want you to memorise the textbook. I want you to flick through it, which you should have been doing during the course, right? And I want you to have had a look at the Moodles and look at the PowerPoints on the Moodle and thought about them. There will be some questions from some of the Moodle PowerPoints I put up. They're not trick questions. They're not designed to make you look stupid. They are general questions that you should be able to puzzle the answers out to. At this point, I'll give you a specific example. So you better get 3 right out of 60. This is a full question. These are the 4 answers. Which is the one that's right? And then I'm going to break it down by question answer after this part. Mrs. Jones visits your foot clinic in her local community centre. As an older woman, she confides to you that she is having some trouble in the winter paying her electricity bill. She is not accessing any form of specific support. Which one of the following suggestions would you make? A. Refer her to a family MD and suggest she ask for a social work appointment. B. Listen supportively. C. Tell her to contact a local municipality to see if she can get a rebate on her school tax. D. Recommend she ask her bank for a reverse annuity mortgage. Reading the question, reading the answers, making a mark on the Scantron, 90 to 100 seconds. Okay? Any that take more time than that, skip them. Be careful marking the Scantron, that you stay in order. Skip them, note them, go back to them. You have a paper booklet, write all over it, use a highlighter. Don't waste 10 minutes or more on a question you can't do. Okay? So Mrs. Jones visits you in your foot clinic in her local community centre. As an older woman, she confides to you that she's having some trouble in the winter paying her electricity bill, her hydro bill. She's not accessing any specific form of support. Which one of the following suggestions would you make? Now, before you look at the answers, right, It's a community, it's independent, it's an older woman. Don't start imagining her social circumstances other than what the question gives you. You don't know about her savings, you don't know whether she owns or rents, you don't know whether she's married, you don't know if she's a lesbian, you don't know if she's native, you don't know nothing. All you know is the STEM. That's a critically important point for the NCLEX examination. And one of the fundamental areas students will often trip themselves up on is that they will take information from previous questions and put it into the following question, or they will imagine what the scenario is. It's helpful to imagine the scenario, but you've got to be real careful in the NCLEX that you don't start inventing information that alters your answer. Okay? So, there's 4 choices, one of which you pick because you believe it's the best answer to give. They may all be correct, right? I want to see professional decision making, as does the NCLEX. Okay, so which of the following 4 would you pick? A, refer her to a family MD and suggest she ask for a social work appointment. Now that sort of a question answer is absolutely one people will love to pick because we like to take problems and remove them. You're there to look at people's feet, right? No, you're there to holistically nurse the patient. Referring it to a doctor for a social issue so the doctor can get a social worker appointment may seem tempting. It's not exactly what you should be telling somebody who's living independently in the community for this sort of a problem. Listen supportively. Yeah, that's what we do, right? We listen to the narrative of the patient. We get to know them as a human being and know everything about them. It's going to do absolutely nothing to help pay her hydro bills this winter, and she might be found frozen to death, but at least you can think, oh, I heard her out. No, be careful. There is a time and a place to listen respectfully. This isn't it. She's got a specific problem. You better answer it. The other one is recommend she ask her bank for reverse annuity mortgage. Okay, you were asleep. You don't know what a reverse annuity mortgage is, or you've forgotten. It doesn't matter. You should be aware of the fact that reverse annuity mortgages are the last thing any senior adult can do to actually give themselves financing. It should not be anything other than the last possible resort. And you wouldn't suggest that on meeting somebody. So the correct answer is this one. Tell her to contact her local municipality to see if she can get a rebate on her school tax. Now the other thing about multiple choice is, the whole point of a multiple choice isn't that everybody gets 100%. You can do that for intern classes and stuff like that. I actually want you guys on average to get 67% for the class average. That makes my life happier. Now that's all from me. This is Wednesday evening. Thursday afternoon or evening I will put up the PowerPoint grades for the groups, and I've got to say you really guys did a great job. The lowest grade is B+. So please stop freaking out and worrying about what do I need to know for the exam. What you need to know for the exam is a basic overview of the textbook, basic overview of the PowerPoints the students did, and a basic look at the PowerPoints I did. You've been looking at this material for at least 12 weeks. It should not be a big problem. Really calm down. Flick through the textbook. It'll take you 20 minutes, 25 minutes with a highlighter. Mark obvious definitions. Okay? Look through the PowerPoints and think, what question could John ask me realistically given who I am and what I've been studying? Right? Don't panic. Remember, it's multiple choice. There will be questions you will not understand the question and you will not know any of the answers. Okay? Or you won't be able to define which is the best answer. They all look equally right. Use the information that I gave you in how to do multiple choice exams. Relax, and remember, the first thing you do in a multiple choice exam is you sit there and you tell yourself calmly, I am strong, I am powerful, I really understand older adult nursing care in Canada. And say that 3 or 4 times. Not too loud, it's an exam. It works. Be confident. Okay? Anywho, hope this helped. Let me know if it didn't. I am aware of the fact people are a bit unused to this type of an exam where you're not given a study list, but you won't in the NCLEX, right? In the NCLEX you have to learn everything about nursing, except global health. Bye.